Dear brothers of planet Earth, I am Hilarion. Coming here for another round of the journey of forgiveness is a reason of great joy in my heart. The journey is going as planned. You have reached a very important point in the journey where you are releasing very, very old connections. Many of you are trying to reconstruct your past connections. I would say that if you try, you will encounter a huge number of people. Because even just following one side of the inverse lineage, your mother, for example, above her there is a father and a mother, and from those two come 4, and from those 4 come 8, and so on. And you have the 2 sides of your lineage, the mother and the father. So don't try to understand how deep this work goes, how far it is reaching. It is important that you understand that not all of your ancestors are disembodied. The vast majority of souls are still here on the planet, incarnated today. So why go through this process of disconnection? Because in some way, each soul carries all that it did at that time, all that it caused. So it is responsible for everything created and everything it received. Therefore, notice that thousands or even millions of souls are being affected. You don't know exactly how long you have been on the planet, how long you have been reproducing, and how long you have been incarnated, how many incarnations you had. Do the math. Take a small number of incarnations, say 10 incarnations, and make this inverted tree to see how many people are directly connected to your birth. And you will understand that the volume that is being dealt with and that is being processed during this turn, this round, is enormous. My green ray is the healing ray. But that does not mean I am not participating. The process continues with me, except that at this point in the journey, in the return itself, it is that moment where the wounds are treated. It is that moment where the points where these connections were are closed with much light and much love. The feelings that still remain are healed and treated. So it is as if I had a double function, the function of disconnecting the souls, but also the healing, that of healing each one of them, each point that was broken, each disconnection. And it is a job that I have had over the years, over time, over eras. It is extremely careful and very loving work. And I have much gratitude for Father, Mother, God for being responsible for it. To put light, healing light, into every emptied point, every broken point, is extremely rewarding work for me. With your third dimensional consciousness, I understand that it is complex for you to understand this. How can I do so many at the same time? Everything is consciousness. Everything is the force of what you want to do. So each one that is participating in this journey is connected to me, and all it takes is one simple command with my consciousness for them to be enveloped then in the full green light, and every single point that was disconnected will close, will heal. It is not difficult for me, it is extremely easy, and this will happen with every soul that is disconnected. They will all be under my supervision, and after healing they will all be released and new souls will come. It is a job that never ends, but I do it with much love, with much dedication. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, Do not feel guilty for disconnecting from your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, whoever is in the way of that chain. What you are doing is good for you and excellent for them. Only love will prevail. Only a remembrance will prevail, a sweet one. To disconnect does not mean to forget. Each one of those souls remembers, not you necessarily, but those who they generated and who one day further down the line caused your birth. So not all of them are attached to you directly. Those closest to you will remember you with much love, with much gratitude for having lived with you, and you will have the same sentiment, the same feeling. Nothing will be forgotten. But any pain, any other feeling will no longer exist. Everything will be erased. Only love will prevail. Of course, this whole process does not happen 100% as we expect. There are rebellious souls in the midst of these connections, souls who were part of your ancestors, but whose hearts are black. They are souls of the non-light. And I hope at this moment none of you are passing judgment. You have their blood. It has come to you. There is no denying it. You come at some point in this generation. So you came at this point in this generation. So these souls do not accept the break. They do not accept breaking the connections, because that is how they manipulate the entire network. They continue to manipulate it. And then what happens? Are we not strong enough to break these connections? Of course we are strong enough, and of course they will be broken, just in a slightly different way. So let's say that each of us, to the sixth ray, can clear everything around that soul. And those who are directly attached to it still remain chains. Then this person, the soul, tries at all costs to keep the connection to you, because they know who you are. In these cases, in the vast majority, you are a soul of light and a powerful soul, so they need to be in that chain to negatively influence you, to not let you move forward. Now, at that point, the other soul loses the game, because the connections to you no longer comes through. They can keep connections as close to them as possible, but the rest is broken by us. When it reaches the seventh ray, the brother Saint Germain, then yes, that connection is totally transmuted. Whether that soul wants it or not, it no longer has a choice, because the violet flame is the one who does this work, this final transmutation of any energy into love and light. And at that point, on the seventh day, on the seventh ray, we will be all around these souls, so that there is not the slightest chance of failure. We will all be surrounding them, and the violet flame of Saint Germain will transmute, and this soul will be brought before the divine laws, the universal laws. So know that many of you have these souls in your ancestor network, and you have not only one or two or three or four. It depends on the importance of your journey in the future, which is today. So do this whole process with much love. You can also give us the certainty of liberation while doing that. This is a very interesting point that has not been made yet. Those whose hearts are closed and do not want to let go of the ancestors are not liberated. This will also echo as a law of action and reaction for the soul. But we respect your decision, for it is from you that we ascend to your ancestors, and if you do not want to, nothing is done. We respect your will. This had not been said before because we know that many would give up on the first day. But be sure that no matter whether it has been said or not, if your heart was closed and you did not want it done, nothing was done. You will remain connected and trapping all those souls above you. Yes, the burden is yours. The decision is yours. So you have this burden. Now for the rest of you who did it with an open heart, you are all free, except for those souls that I have commented on, but they will also be released on the 7th day. So be ready. Everything will be cleansed, everything. Now always, at all times, we will respect the free will of each one of you. This message was channeled by Vania Rodrigues, and it was read for you by Adriana.